and I have been involved with K9, that we've outgrown its doors, literally and figuratively. We train over 25 different agencies now, both in-state and out-of-state. We actually have a Vermont Police Department that comes and trains with us now as well, because they know the level of training that's taking place at this facility with our lead instructors that are there currently. We're also looking to move it from Montgomery to the Sheriff's Office and Emergency Services Campus over on Wells Farm Road. When you turn in from 6.5 Station right onto Wells Farm, there's a little swath of land there, about 5.5 acres. That's where it would be if anyone didn't realize that. So it would all be kind of home here in Goshen, which is centralized to the whole county, and it would be easier for everyone to commute from to. You have 17 right there, 17 out, et cetera. This is something that's well overdue, and right now we're just looking to get the architecture and engineering going to make sure that that spot is good for us. Make sure that all the utilities are properly weld and the sewer's there for us, and make sure that that's the right area for us to be in. So.
Any questions from the committee?
Thank you, Chairman. Sergeant, just a quick question.
Sure.
We got an email a couple weeks ago that graduation is coming up for
Yes.
K9s.
Yep.
How many dogs and handlers generally are in a class, and how many classes do you guys see through the course of a year at the K9 facility?
Sure, good question. So currently, I believe I have 7 that are graduating. There's 9 K9 teams for the Sheriff's Office alone. In every March, we have a patrol school that lasts about 16 weeks to train our K9s as well as other county departments K9s in obedience, evidence article recovery, agility, tracking, apprehension, and then that's just for the spring and summer. Then we go into the fall. They come back for another 12 to 16 weeks for detector school, whether it's narcotics, explosives. Now we have Orange County's first electronics detector dog, which is ours, the Orange County Sheriff's Office. We have that. We have an arson detector dog as well. So it can be anywhere from like 8 K9 teams to, we try not to go over like 10 every March. And then they usually come back in the fall for the detective portion, if it's a dual purpose dog.
Thank you, Sergeant.
And then throughout the entire year, there's still in-service training that has to be done. So once they get their initial
Yeah.
certification, the state requires so many hours per month for the teams to remain certified. So 3 weeks of every month, whether there's a school going on or not, they're still providing in-service training to all the agencies amongst our own that need to get the in-service training for the dogs.
We have 2 full-time trainers out
So the lights are on in this building more than they're off, for sure.
there. Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you, Chairman.
Legislator O'Donnell? Yes, how many K9 you have now?
For the sheriff's officer, 9 teams.
9.
Yep.
And how many hours a month training do you do?
Depending on its, whether it's explosives detecting, narcotics, whatever, and patrol, if they're cross-trained for patrol certified. 4 at minimum.
Yeah, each discipline for in-service training is 16 hours a month. So they do 2 in-service days.
8
for
hours.
Patrol, 2 in-service for the detective specialty, like you said, either explosives.
1 day a
narcotics.
month, they're doing training. How do they have 20 days of work?
4 days.
Yeah.
No, 4
Yeah,
4 days
days a month for in-service.
for each team.
For each team. So the majority of the dogs are dual purpose, which means they're patrol certified and detector, either explosives, narcotics, or
Okay, so they do 20% of their time in training.
4 out of 20 days a month. Yep, if that's the math on it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot.
It's definitely a lot, yeah. And it's a, if you don't use it, you lose it sort of thing. Yeah,
It's a
Right.
lot of training.
it definitely is.
and all the other county agencies that have canines as well, they do all their in-service training out of our facility as well. So they're not just providing the
So
training.
they have to
for
do the
sheriff's office.
same
Correct.
20%.
Correct.
To
yeah.
maintain their standard.
And those are DCJS minimums.
Right, okay. Can you give us a list of all the agencies that trained last year, 2024?
We can provide it to you. I mean,
Yeah, that's all, so we
Yeah.
can share it with the legislators, so we know
Absolutely.
our local PDs are using it, not using it.
I can state that every local PD in Orange County that has a K9 unit, other than the state police, come to us to train.
MTA?
MTA has their own facility. but
Over in
we do-
Stormville. Well, they used to.
They
We,
used to.
from,
When I was there, they
Yes.
did.
yeah, we were there too. Both of our teams had Some MTA guys there. We have big classes at the MTA. So their facility is awesome, by the way.
Really?
So,
Yeah.
oh yeah, I know. So we're looking to kind of take that and then put it here in Goshen. I don't know if you guys are up for that.
Yeah, okay.
That's a minimum cost.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, we're on to letter C. Request the reallocation and appropriation of funds for the 2025 capital expense for proposed capital project number 115 for the capital improvement of exterior perimeter security doors and frames. To replace exterior security doors and frames, egress doors from yards and emergency egress and housing units. The doors are weathered and failing. Door security is becoming compromised. $500,000. Originally $150,000 requested for 2025. Funding for 4 years as follows: 2025 funding $500,000, 26 funding $350,000, 27 funding $350,000, 28 funding $300,000. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created, $500,000 bonding. Request number 151.
So moved.
Second.
Luhan, Fagion. Okay, can we highlight new doors?
Yeah, so this is for the jail, and the building is 25 years old, and kind of like maintaining a house, we got to maintain the jail as well. We got to keep upkeep. The exterior doors are starting to rust out, and it's becoming a security issue. I don't know if you're familiar with the escape that happened down in Louisiana. They're saying some of that was just old buildings in addition to staff not doing what they were supposed to do. So we don't want to have any kind of issue with, the doors failing and losing some people. So it's just an old building and it needs to be replaced.
Any questions from the committee? Yeah, call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we'll move on to letter D. Request the allocation and appropriation of funds for the 2025 capital expense, proposed project number 113 for the dock vehicle Sallyport VSP and facility-wide replacement and maintenance of individual cells. $575,000, originally $525,000 requested for 2025. Funding to be allocated as follows: 2026 to 2029, $525,000 per year, 2030, $475,000. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created, $575,000 bonding. Request number 166.
So moved.
Fagion, Luhan. Okay,
Thank you. So this again is for the jail. Building is 25 years old. In this request, there's 3 separate projects. I'll start with the dock first. That's the loading dock where the tractor trailers come and deliver supplies, mostly for the kitchen in the jail. So there's industrial sized cans and containers and stuff. The loading dock 1, when it was built, was the wrong height for the tractor trailers coming in. So that in and of itself is a problem. And then it's disintegrated down to the rebar where there's actually holes in it. So the kitchen staff use carts with wheels on it that cannot go across this loading dock without it tipping over and creating a hazard for the workers for the cans or whatever it is to fall on them. So that's the loading dock. The second one is the vehicle Sallyport, which is the enclosed area where we're bringing prisoners in and out of the jail. The whole cement ground work there is again also down to the rebar, which is going to create a trip hazard for either the officers or the inmates coming in and out there as well, which is a liability issue. The third one is the maintenance of the individual cells, and I go back to the building is 25 years old. So we have had issues in the past, and I think we spoke about this in one of the prior meetings where there was actually an inmate where he took a piece of the metal out of the glass in the door to the cell because it was disintegrating and actually made a shiv out of it. So it's actually a security and safety issue, just repairing and replacing many of the toilets, the sinks, the doors, that type of thing within the individual cells.
any questions from the committee?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just a question. Do we have a consultant do all these, investigate all these things that you're getting, want to do a month or now? I mean, or DPW, did they come in or did you call them in? Who was it that came up with all these items that need to be repaired?
So
I mean, if they're all of them. We're talking about doors, we're talking about fence, we're talking about fence lighting. I mean, 25 years, some stuff lasts 40 years. I'm just wondering if someone came in and said, look, we gotta do this now because of, if it was a qualified person.
We do consult with DPW on any of the repairs or any of the issues that we have in the jail, yes,
So they were the ones making these recommendations.
yes.
Minority Leader, anybody else? I'll call the question. All those in favor? Opposed? Carried. Okay, thank you very much.
Have a great day.
Thank you for your time.
Take that.
Did, Lacey show up?
No, we had somebody come in.
Somebody's showing up in place. Very good. Okay, next up, we'll go to agenda item number 4, Lawrence Ledoux. Let's see Lawrence come in. Okay. Commissioner Valley View. Lawrence, we got a long list here, Lawrence.
I know, sorry, we
Okay.
didn't have health and mental health last month, so we doubled up on you,
All
sorry
right, we'll
about
get
that.
started with letter A, request, request supplemental appropriation for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for a water monitoring system. This project provides equipment to document real-time water system conditions, including alerts if systems fail outside acceptable parameters, thereby minimizing potential for waterborne illness and ensuring the best environment for the delivery of healthcare. This is proposed capital project number 129 in the 2025 capital plan. $215,170 bonding, request 122.
So moved.
Legislator O'Donnell, Legislator Lujan.
I don't really have much to add. It's, we're finalizing an upgrade to our water to address the issues with the town of Florida water right now. So this is just an additional project to upgrade the water monitoring system. Currently, everything is done manually. We'd like to upgrade that to include some more technology, so we can have real-time water system analysis and condition alerts.
Any questions? All right.
Yeah, what kind, do you know the kind of system you're using?
I don't, I'm not an expert on water systems. I apologize. I can get you information on that if you like.
Just some kind of telemetry system, I'm sure.
Yeah.
For Genex, I have here.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Go on to letter B, request supplemental appropriation for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for replacement of various awnings. These awnings provide shelter and protection from excessive weather conditions. This allows residents to experience the outside environment in a safe, comfortable manner. This proposed capital project number 126 in the 2025 capital plan, $25,000 bonding, request number 124. So moved. Legislator O'Donnell, who's the second?
I did.
Minority Leader Duke. Okay.
So again, this is, we do have outdoor areas for the residents to enjoy the outdoors, and we need the awnings upgraded and or replaced. So we want to provide a shade area for our residents, and this is some funding to do that.
Any questions? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we'll move on to letter C, request supplemental appropriation for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for fire door improvements. These improvements were recommended by the Facility Condition Assessment Report and the Fire Door Inspection Report. Fire doors ensure the safety of residents, visitors, and staff. The facility is required to meet statutory compliance with Life Safety Code published by the National Fire Protection Association. This is proposed capital project number 135 in the 2025 capital plan, $269,500 bonding, request number 130.
So moved.
Legislator Lujan.
Second.
And O'Donnell.
Some of you remember we had a facility condition assessment report completed last year. So we're working on the priority items in that report, and this is one of the priority items is to replace some of the fire doors. We do have to, because we're a nursing home facility, we do have to abide by Life Safety Code regulations.
Any questions?
Are these doors different from the ones that are alarmed so that somebody can't wander or stray? It's supposed to be,
Any,
or is any door that way?
most of the doors that are the doors that you're talking about they're both fire doors and they would be alarmed.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Okay, Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion
I
carried.
had a question.
Oh.
You did do it first. Sorry. It's okay, it's just, who built the facility condition assessment?
We had Colliers do it, an engineering group. Yeah.
Okay, on to letter D. Request supplemental appropriation for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for the main kitchen fire suppression system. Improvements are required to ensure the fire suppression system shuts down gas and electric sources to equipment upon activation per NFPA 2024, Chapter 17A, 4.44. This is proposed capital project number 130 in the 2025 capital plan. 42,500 bonding, request number 131. O'Donnell? Duke? Okay,
So this is to upgrade the main kitchen fire suppression system. This is a system that automatically goes off if there were a fire or in the kitchen. Again, it's regulatory based. We have to have it. It's for the safety of our staff and of our residents.
any questions from the committee? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Carried. Okay, we'll move on to letter E. Request supplemental appropriation for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for improvements to the 150,000 and 500,000 gallon above ground water storage tanks and surrounding perimeter. The improvements are recommended in the facility condition assessment report and in the written report of tank inspections completed by Underwater Solutions. Protecting and maintaining our public water supply infrastructure limits the risk of exposure to contaminated water. Additionally, ensures compliance with U.S. EPA, New York State, and Orange County under the Safe Drinking Water Act. This is a secret type 2 action. No further environmental review is needed. This is proposed capital project number 148 in the 2025 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. 166,500 bonding, request number 133.
So moved.
Donald Lujan?
Again, this was assessed during the facility condition assessment, and we'd like to get this done. We actually had a pinhole leak in our 500,000 gallon tank last week that we had to have repaired, so it's time to do the remaining repairs.
Are these tanks just for backup water, or are they,
No, they're our water supply. We have the 500,000 gallon tank is across Croy Road, kind of between the quarry. It's up on the hill there. That's the really big tank.
legislative Benton?
So they're repairing the tank, as in welding it or fixing it somehow, rather than taking it down. and-
Oh, yeah,
using the tank.
It's just a
Okay.
little patch for now until they do whatever else with the
Thank you, Mr.
remaining
Chairman.
work. Yep.
A lot of money for a little patch.
Well, this isn't for the patch, but I'm just saying, we just had to have a patch done, which speaks to the need to have upgrades.
All right, call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, we're on to letter F. Request supplemental appropriation for a proposed 2025 capital expenditure for replacement of domestic hot water equipment. The Cowser, Simon, and Glenmere buildings will include instantaneous plate heat exchangers as recommended in the facility condition assessment dated 2023. The completion of this project will mitigate the proliferation of Legionella bacteria and hot water storage tanks, in addition to offering improved efficiency, space savings, ease of maintenance, and reduced maintenance. This is proposed capital project number 152 in the 2025 capital plan, 115,500 bonding, request number 144. Legislator O'Donnell, do I have a second? Legislator Ravella? Okay, Lawrence.
So again, this was mentioned in the facility condition assessment report. Because we are a healthcare facility, every healthcare facility has to have a Legionella prevention program. So, we need to get these domestic hot water equipment upgraded to prevent Legionella and to provide hot water to our residents.
Any questions for the commissioner?
You know, is the hot water, indirectly done, like with the boilers through the big tank of heater, or are they separate with their own burners?
It fills up a tank. It heats up a tank and then the hot water goes. I believe that's how it's run.
I was just wondering if it was, if the boilers might be connected to the hot water system as well. That's called indirect.
I'm not sure. I'm not an expert on this, but I can find out if you like, yeah. Just a reminder too, I should have started with this, we get about 75 cents on the dollar for all these projects back in our Medicaid rate. I usually like to lead with that whenever we have large capital projects. So I just wanted to add that as well.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, they gotta get to the doctor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Benton. All right. We'll go back to first item on the agenda. I believe Leah Roth is here. Okay. She's here in Lacey's place today. So request supplemental appropriation to the capital project budget for a building management system conversion. The conversion is to replace the existing pneumatic valve heating cooling system to an automated system. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as project number 72. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created, $230,000, request number 148.
So moved. Second.
Luhan Paduk. Okay, highlight that for us.
So our pneumatic system is original to the building, which is back in the 70s, and we have not been able to,
Control the temperatures.
moderate our heat or our air in any good way. So it's hot in one place, cold in the other, and just causing us a havoc. So it's cheaper, I think, to then repair it as often as we have.
It's definitely outdated and, we have trouble getting parts, so this is gonna modernize the system, so it'll all be, it'll be computer controlled, like all of our other newer buildings.
Any questions?
So you're gonna replace all the pneumatic valves with.
With electronic valves, yes. Yes, they pull wires through and then you would replace all the valves. The boiler and the chiller has been replaced in this building in the last 5 years, so it has all the mechanicals. So this will be the last portion, this should give us good longevity.
Call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, we have Commissioner Denanga. Ryan, you might.
No,
Ryan's not here.
Changing schedule.
Okay, I guess that's it. Okay, so we have letter A, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for county road improvements. This project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed project number 34. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This project has been determined to be a type 2 action under seeker as defined in section 617.5, 1, 2, 5, 22, 23, 27, 300,000 bonding request number 168.
Second.
That's a long one. Luhan and Fagion. Commissioner?
Yep, sure. This it went through physical services last night. This has been an annual ask that we've consolidated a few different road improvement line items from years past, including the intersection improvements, roadside improvements, safety improvements, that type of thing. So it's all kind of consolidated to county road improvements. We do have project plan for this, kind of Route 105 in Spring Street, which is in Monroe. It's that wide intersection kind of near the daycare, where there's a traffic signal. We want to upgrade the traffic signal there to make that a more efficient intersection. We do also use this line item for sort of reactionary type work. We get a public complaint or drainage washout, or could be a site distance issue, or anything like that, that we need to do an improvement to a county road or something in the intersection. So it's pretty crucial to have these funds available to us in moments notice as well.
Any questions for the commissioner? Call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. On to letter B, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for preliminary engineering and design of Belleville Bridge replacement. In the town of Warwick, this project has been approved under the 2025 capital plan as proposed capital project number 50. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This project has been determined to be a type 2 action under seeker as defined under New York NYCRR points, part 617.5 C2, $123,000 bonding, request number 169. Commissioner.
This is on State Schoolhouse Road, town of Warwick, near the old prison. It's a 38-foot span, built in 1945, has a rating of 4.34 out of 7. It is type 2 because it's an existing bridge. It is a complete replacement job. This money is just for the preliminary engineering and design. Simple as that. We have 147 bridges and we got to keep them moving. So,
Any questions?
Yeah, is this bridge on the tip, do you know?
I don't believe so. No, this is for straight up bonding.
Yeah, call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Letter C, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for preliminary engineering and design of Logtown Bridge replacement in the town of Greenville. This is proposed capital project number 58 in the 2025 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This project has been determined to be a type 2 action under seeker as defined under New York CRR points, part 617.5 C2, 91,000 bonding, request number 170.
I'll make that
Motion,
Second.
please. Fagione, Ravello.
So this is a Logtown Road bridge over the Rutgers Creek, town of Greenville, 28-foot span. It's currently a 15-ton posting on it, post limit. Built in 1939 with 3.25 rating, so it's getting down there. It needs attention very soon. Again, this is for preliminary engineering and design only. Type 2 action because we're basically replacing an existing bridge. That's it.
Questions for the commissioner? Yeah, call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. On to letter D, request supplemental appropriation to the capital projects budget for preliminary engineering and design of Neversink Bridge rehabilitation in the town of Deer Park. This is proposed capital project number 57 in the 2025 capital plan. Upon approval, a new capital project will be created. This project has been determined to be a type 2 action under seeker as defined by NYCRR part 617.5 to 53,000 bonding, request number 171.
I'll make that
Second.
Fagione. Ravello. How'd I guess now? Commissioner.
This one's over County Route 80, over the Neversink River, 415-foot span, about 2,000 cars per day. Built in 1967, it's got a rating of 15.85 out of 7. Difference between,
Say that again? What rating out of 7?
I'm sorry, did I say 15.85 out of 7? Thank you.
I 15.
I think I said 15.
Yeah. It's really, really bad.
The difference between this one and the last two is this is actually rehabilitation, not a complete replacement. So we're basically doing what we can to prolong the life of the bridge. In several cases, we've been able to do that. We've been very successful with that
Big
as
bridge.
well. And we can save a lot of money doing that. Again, it's type 2 under secret. We're, working on an existing bridge.
Any other questions for the commissioner? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Hey, Eric, I guess you get to stay right here.
Yeah.
Bob here too?
I saw Bob. Yeah.
Bob, you want to join us at the table?
I do.
Okay, letter A, request to confirm all. Okay, request to confirm all tipping rate modifications charged at Orange County-owned solid waste disposal facilities for all applicable waste streams and amending all past resolutions, setting previous rates by increasing yard waste tipping fee from $50 a ton to $65 per ton to bring this more in line with the surrounding businesses. request number 158. Motion, please.
I'll make the motion.
Fagion, O'Donnell. Do you highlight that for us, please?
Sure. Currently, going to increase the rate from the current $50 to $65 a ton. There's a range, we're going to be in the middle of where the other vendors that take care of this stuff. There's a company in Montgomery that they're at $75 a ton. Ulster County, I believe, is at $40 a ton. Rockland, anywhere from 65 up to 140, depending on what it is. So the $65 gets us where we want to be, kind of in the middle. Not the cheapest, not the most expensive, but just trying to keep things equal to what our expenses are.
So, with everything that's going up, I mean, raising it to, it's gonna end up creating a burden to our residents, is it not? They're gonna be throwing out garbage, and if they're going to Ulster County, which is for us, like the city of Newburgh, you just gotta go 20 minutes. Gonna spend $40, and they're gonna go spend $65. So does that really make it also even competitive?
Well, it's not rubbish. This is yard waste. This is sticks, leaves, what you rake up, things like that. Does not include stumps. Stumps are at the regular MSW rate, $130 a ton. So honestly, I don't think it's burdensome. I mean, we're very competitive.
Well, I'll just add to that when it comes to causing people to spend more money, we already have taxation on this landfill budget. So any revenue that we don't bring in, we have to subsidize with further taxation. So this, in a sense, helps to keep the taxation down, or at least minimize it.
Thank you.
Appreciate the explanation.
Any other questions?
So this won't bring you into parity to make it so there's no tax burden. You still have a tax burden regardless, correct?
Correct. It's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, I don't know, without having the budget in front of me, per year for the entire budget for the transfer stations, which we refer to as the landfill budget. This is one small piece of where we bring.
The MSW rate was raised last year, correct?
Yeah, I can't remember if we raised it this past year, but we typically do make a habit of raising it each year. We to keep up with inflation, keep up with our, the increases in the labor costs for the union, things like that.
Yeah, the hauling rate that we pay our vendor, that drives that. That's the lion's share of that expense.
Mr. Legislator Lujan's question and point is, even the waste being hauled there from municipalities is going to be affected by the same rate.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, I'll call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. On to letter B, request supplemental appropriation for the increase in the amount of capital project number 912 from $490,000 to the estimated maximum cost of $700,000 for the acquisition of various equipment for Orange County transfer stations, including $210,000 expected to be received from the state grant sources, and authorizing the issuance of an additional bond for $105,000 to be added to the original bond of $385,000 for a total of $490,000 for the county to finance the balance of said appropriation. The requested increase is to cover the cost of higher estimate received for the purchase of a trommel screen $105,000. Bonding request number 160.
So moved.
Confusing one.
Sure. This is a screener, a large capacity screener that's going to be utilized for our compost operation. We a very large amount of compost that is from that yard waste. We have that yard waste ground and we compost it, and the material that's screened we'll be using at our different, like Parks Department uses a fair amount of it, but we'll be marketing that. We'll be offering that for sale at some point to residents and as well as contractors. We're down the road to reuse it.
There was a cut sheet included in the backup with the same request as well, I believe, that shows images of the equipment. It's basically a big cylindrical barrel, perforated with soil fall, good soil falls through it, the large chunks kind of will carry through, go in the waste. It makes it for a much more usable product. Safer product too.
Any questions? All the question, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Letter C, request a supplemental appropriation to the EF&S sewer budget to pay the village of Cary Joel as per the settlement agreement dated January 15th, 2025 between the Orange County Sewer District and the village of Cary Joel. Funding for this to come from appropriated surplus, $890,120. Request number 159.
Some,
A second on that? Move on.
Well, I'll make the second.
I was gonna do it, okay. Glad you owned it.
So Chairman,
Is it a rush?
I asked our county
A
attorney
lot
to
of
come,
questions.
help give the explanation for this one.
Okay, to try to make it easier to understand, I think you first have to realize how the wastewater treatment is set up for the sewer district. So there are actually two facilities that handle wastewater for the Orange County Sewer District and the contracting municipalities. There's the main one that we always think of, which is the Harriman Sewer Treatment Plant down in Harriman. There's another one that is part of our system that is the KJ wastewater treatment plant. There's about 14% or so of the wastewater that goes through the KJ facility. The remainder goes down to Harriman for the Harriman wastewater treatment facility. They both outfall into the Ramapo River. Harriman is a little bit further south than the KJ outfall into the Ramapo River. So we rely upon the KJ facilities owned by KJ. It's operated by through a contract that the county has, operates the facility. There were necessary improvements that weren't kept up with respect to the KJ facility. And as a result of that, we leased that capacity at the KJ plant. The capacity that we were leasing was less than what we could utilize. So beginning in 2020, I believe, the county started saying that we will reduce our lease payments proportional to the percentage of wastewater treatment that we're not getting out of that facility. So we did that, and that happened, and we were hoping that that self-help, rather than taking them to court, would go ahead and spur them on to making necessary improvements. It did not happen that way. And then beginning in 2021, the town of Palm Tree essentially said, well, if you're going to be not giving KJ the full lease payments, then we're going to withhold the same amount of real property taxes from the town of Palm that we normally send to the county. Obviously, the two cannot rationally be linked, but that's their response. What we then did is the only way to really collect those real property tax monies is to commence a lawsuit against the assessor in that town. And so we started one and then a second action to cover all the years. In a lawsuit that was entitled Terry Gallagher as Commissioner of Finance against the assessor of the town of Palm, in which the assessor would be personally responsible for the hundreds of thousands of dollars that was being withheld. That did get their attention. And eventually we worked out a settlement of those two issues whereby the sewer district was going to pay back the rent monies that were withheld without interest. The town of Palm Tree was going to repay to the county the real property tax monies withheld with interest. And then we settled the lawsuit and the settlement agreement that you have before you. The nuts and bolts of the most important part of that settlement agreement is on page 3, if you wanted to look at it, in which it talked about the payments. So the payments to the village of Woodbury, village of KJ, I'm sorry, to reimburse them for the withheld rental monies was $890,120, which is the request before you. And then they have already paid, as of February 26th, repaid to the county $981,028.21. And so that would, that resolved that matter. It was settled earlier this year, but now we need the monies to go from, I understand it to be from appropriated surplus to the sewer district so that we could pay the village of KJ for the withholding of the rental monies. Now, realize that we did not have any real damage, dollar damage, as of any significance as a result of the inability to access the KJ wastewater plant. The wastewater that would normally go to that plant is sent there by way of a sewer pump station. I can stand corrected whenever I'm wrong to the gentleman on my left. But when we could only send so much, less than what we anticipated, there is a
Bypass.
a bypass that would send it down to the Harron treatment plant. So we didn't have to send it out to get treated someplace else or incur any other charges. What we wanted to send to the KJ plant but could not was simply shut it down to the Harriman plant. And so we didn't really have any damage, but we wanted them to go ahead and want that capacity to be able to utilize that. And they have now made those improvements, and the plant is operating at or very close to capacity of the tighter amount that we release.
Just want to make sure, so the cost to the county for utilizing the KJ plant as opposed to Rampo plant is the same?
Versus the Harriman plant.
Harriman plant, same cost?
Yeah, we operate both plants. Even though we own Harriman and we operate Harriman, we lease KJ, we don't own it, but we do operate it.
Right.
So we kind of have the same, we're responsible for the operating expenses.
And the second part I saw in the settlement, the deadline to make the payment, we're not a penalty for that?
No.
Okay.
And then, and just to clarify too, it's our understanding, because the sewer district is it's a special district, money's coming from only those taxpayers that live in that district, and that money, the monies that will be paid back will only coming from the surplus within that district.
Mr. O'Donnell?
How many years were they not giving us what they were supposed to do?
I think it was 21, 22, 23, and 24.
And that equals $900,000.
That was
Partial payments
with,
during that.
yeah, there's a partial payment in that.
Right,
The
the
total
money's
amount though
withheld.
with interest is the 981,000.
Yeah, so we kept their money.
Yeah.
That they were supposed to pay us. And then they started,
Well, not they, because they would be KJ.
KJ said that they're not paying their property tax.
No, Town of Palm said they're not paying. Town- Well, it makes a difference, right? Because
Yeah.
it deals with, one is within the sewer district, which is KJ. Town of Palm is not in the sewer district, right? But, so they're very separate and distinct entities from that point of view. And from the point of view is that they just started, it was almost as if Town of Waveanda says, well, I don't like what you're doing with KJ, therefore I'm going to withhold tax money from you. Right?
They had no legal basis. for
Correct.
that.
Correct.
Okay, so that's, like you said earlier, like almost a separate issue.
Yes.
So
Just the total lease payment is $700,000 a year. So a portion of that was withheld based on their shortfall on the amount that they didn't treat. Whatever percentage they didn't treat, we reduced that 700,000 by that amount, that percentage. That's where the 800,000 came from.
Yeah, but we didn't get that for those years.
Correct.
And then we started withholding the money. Right? They
eventually made the physical
money.
improvements.
Did they pay the money?
Yes, on February 26th, they paid the $981,028.21.
That's the tax bill.
That's the tax bill, right?
They paid
Did
the
they pay
I'm talking about the
KJ?
sewer district.
sewer district bill is a bill that we pay to them
Right.
to rent. We stopped paying.
Well, of course,
Because we
yeah,
didn't get the service.
Correct.
correct.
Right. And now you're saying we paid it.
Not yet.
No, we're here to say that we're gonna pay them, right?
Yeah.
Right, we haven't paid them yet. Right, we haven't paid them yet.
Because we never got the service.
No, but we weren't damaged either. You can sue for damage. You can't sue because somebody didn't follow something and there was no damage. You can sue, but you would get $1 as a nominal damage.
That sewage got treated at Harriman instead of being treated at KJ, which is, they're both part of the district. So that's what Rick means by there's no damage.
Point is, they did something withholding the tax bill. They paid us back for that. They knew they were gonna lose that. We didn't get what we were supposed to be getting. So we withheld money, right? Now, we never got it. We're paying money back. Okay?
This has more of an impact once
Yeah,
we
we are doing that,
Yeah.
but because we weren't damaged.
Damage now.
the damage comes, I think, more so if we were run out of
You want
capacity.
that, how come you withheld money?
Because we wanted to have the full capacity. At some point in time, we wouldn't be able to take that amount of wastewater and treat it down at Harriman. That didn't happen.
We didn't get to that point, right?
Still not convincing me. But anyway, they make the improvements?
Yes.
Yes, they did.
Chairman Hines?
What was the interest rate? How was that calculated?
That was calculated by finance as to the amount of lost interest that we would have had on that money over those specific years. It was calculated specifically as to how, dependent upon, I'll let Kerry speak to it, but dependent upon how much interest we would have gained on those monies if we had it during the period of time.
We used the rate of return that we were losing based on the dollar amount each year. So we figured it out that way.
Perfect. Thank you.
Blended interest rate.
Any other questions? Call the question. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, Brian, thanks for calling.
You did, good.
You're supposed to call.
All right, thank you.
He needs another call. From Brian?
Hold on a second. Next up, Kerry Gallagher, Commissioner of Finance, and Andrew Buchanan, Deputy Commissioner.
I feel like I had to bring legal because they had legal
And-
last
and
time
actually
too,
legal.
right? So I have Carol Pierce with me as well.
Letter A, resolution sending a home rule request to the New York State Legislature seeking enactment of Senate Bill 7630 and Assembly Bill 7461 for a special law extending the 0.75% increase to the sales tax rate beginning December 1st, 2025 and ending November 30th, 2027. Request number 165.
Second.
Lujan Fagion.
Sure. So we were here last week at Rules. This is step 2 of the process in order to extend the 0.75% for the sales tax from December 1st, 25 to November 30th, 2027.
Questions from the committee? Chairman?
Just a statement. Somebody grabbed me on Memorial Day and said, "You're raising the taxes." I said, "No." As a matter of fact, I think Andrea pointed out, we're just keeping it the same. So anybody watching, we're keeping it the same. Not raising.
Sir.
Good point, Chairman. Thank you. Okay, I'll
Correct.
call the question. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carried. Okay, and a sales tax update, please.
Sure.
You're welcome.
Better news.
I went shopping in May.
I go shopping too
After I got
often.
the April report.
May will reflect July.
Yeah. Oh,
So as Andrea just stated, we're in a lagging indicator. So what we're reporting on is actually for March. For the month of May, that's when we received the funds. So the month of May was a strong month for the county. We're at 8.54% over our projected revenue, or $1.9 million. However, we are still year to date, we are still under our projected plan by 4.43%, or $3.5 million. We're always continuing to watch variables that affect this: inflation, interest rates, consumer confidence, fiscal policy, global supplies. So as we do every month, we'll come back with the updates. But like Andrea just said, the lagging indicator, so next month will be from April activity. And again, the weather wasn't the greatest with rain. We've had a lot of rain the past 2 months, like we did, what was that, last year in the fall? Yeah, tariffs, other variables that are going in, and mainly it's consumer confidence is our biggest concern right now.
Questions from the committee?
Keep shopping.
Go shopping. I
Yeah,
was just gonna say, go shopping.
Shop
Weather's
local.
getting nicer.
Don't go
Spend
shop
money.
local.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, next up, Deb Slazinski, Budget Director, and Dina Sina, Deputy Budget Director, for a budget update.
Good afternoon, everyone.
When you're ready, Director.
By car? She did.
Well, might as well.
Okay, all right, so, revenues, taxation, it's not yet recorded, but adjustments will be made into January. State aid and federal aid, both are over from 2024. State aid is 12.4 million, federal aid is 2.3 million. These are pending accrual reversals, so that will go back into January also. Other revenues, total for 2025 is $17.3 million lower than 2024. So sales tax has declined by 7.9 million, and that's the overall total. But again, signs that May will rebound. Interest and earnings decreased by 5.8 million. CDs are coming in so that I think we will meet the budget. And interest and penalty revenues decreased by 2.2 million. That has not been posted yet also, okay? The expenditure side, contractual, total for 2025 is $7.5 million higher than 2024. And again, that accounts for the accruals that have not been reversed yet. As of personal services, I'm just gonna say as of the first pay period in May, we still have 307 vacant positions. In 2024, our highest was 349 vacants, our lowest was 310. So we're getting there a little bit, but that's it. So.
Any questions?
All those vacant positions are full-time
Most of them are full-time. Most of them are full-time.
in the funding.
Yes, but we do have some vacancy factors attached to them. Okay.
Any other questions? You're gonna get off easy. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
With that, our desk is clear, and I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. We are adjourned.